Yes, you guys are missing out. You know, one thing that I like about this World Chess Championship match is that it is not boring. Both players are taking risks, you guys. Not to mention that they're playing different openings, not just the boring Rui Lopez. In today's game, we have a brand new opening, you guys. The English opening. And I'm so excited about this because I have an English opening course, you guys. You can check it out at www.kasperchess.com. Let's get into the game. Today is round 4 of the 2023 FIDE World Chess Championship match between Liren and Nepo. So in this fourth game, Ding was playing white. The scores are 2-1 in favor of Nepo. So Nepo has got 2 points and Ding has got 1. The first game was a draw. Game 2, Liren lost. Game 3 was a draw, and game 4 we are about to discover. So Ding started with C4, the English opening. Oh, I like this. Knight to F6 was played by Nepo. I'm also going to show you some beautiful traps that lie in the English opening, you guys, like I always do, to make this video stand out from other people's recaps. So I'm not just covering the games, you guys. I'm featuring in some possible traps that may happen at every stage of the game. You can check my other interesting recaps of this event in the comment section down below, you guys. Knight C3 is what Liren played, the Anglo-Indian defense. I covered this in my course. Pawn to E5, all going well. And then we see Knight to F3, and Nepo played Knight C6. So we have the 4 knights variation of the English opening, you guys. There's an interesting line here where you can play pawn to E4 if you want, but the main move is what Ding played here, pawn to E3, preparing for pawn to D4 next. Not now, but somewhere in the middle game. So Bishop B4 is what Nepo played, and I talked about this move as well. Let me show you a little trap in this line, you guys. Unlike what Nepo played in this position, which was Bishop B4, if your unprepared opponents played something else like Bishop C5 in this position, which is the second most played move in the Lichess database, you can simply sack your knight on E5, just like in our yesterday's video, if you remember. The whole idea, you guys, is that if knight takes, now you can double attack the bishop and the knight. Yeah, this is just a little trap that puts your pawns on the center and leaves you with a better position. You can later on continue playing your normal game from here. Castle short and bishop E2, rook E8 and castle short. You just have a better position here. Position is plus 2.1 according to Stockfish. Another beautiful trap that I would like to show you in this position, you guys, is as follows. Where you don't take on E5 right away after black plays bishop C5. So instead of taking this, a silent move you can play here. Bishop E2, you just want to castle short, right? So if black plays pawn to D6, which is what they do to pave way for their light squared bishop, you simply castle short as if nothing is happening. And yes, they are going to do the same. Now you play a prophylactic move and wait for black to blunder. The move that you are looking for here, which seems to be a normal looking move for black, is Bishop E6, you guys. This is a very terrible blunder in the English opening because you can simply win a free piece right in this position. How? You simply go pawn to D4, attacking the bishop first. It doesn't even matter what black does here. They can take the pawn, but you can still take back with your E-pawn, attacking the dark squared bishop once again. And after bishop B6, saving the bishop, that's when you go pawn to D5, you guys. Double attacking the knight and the bishop. Definitely you're going to win a free piece from here. Let's continue with the match. So after pawn to E3 by Ding, Nepo didn't play bishop C5 because he's well prepared. Instead, he played bishop B4 and Ding played queen C2. This move has nothing to do with the defense of this knight, you guys. The queen on C2 just keeps an eye on the E4 square in some lines, maybe to prevent knight E4 or pawn to E4. After bishop takes, which is what Nepo played here, bishop takes C3 and b takes C3. I like this position, you guys, for white. Very solid. Think about this move, pawn to D4. And if black takes, you are going to take back with your B pawn and you are going to have this wave of pawns on the center of the board. Pawn to D6, paving way for the light squared bishop. The beauty of the English opening, you guys, is that you eliminate other possible responses by black, which they are very comfortable with. For example, if Ding played pawn to E4 on move 1, there was a chance that Nepo could have played pawn to c5, the Sicilian defense, or maybe just pawn to e5, the perk, the modern defense, I mean anything. But with the English opening, you are controlling the game from the word go, even though it can also transpose into other variations. Anyways, e4 is what Ding played. Now you can see this move that I talked about earlier on, you guys. The idea is to have total control on the center, you guys, controlling the d5 square. And now we are following the game that was played between Carlsen and Topalov in 2018, April. Castle shot by black, then bishop e2, stable chess, knight h5. Whenever you see knight to h5, just know that your opponent wants to put their knight on f4. It's the same idea even with white pieces. Knight to h4 targets the f5 square. So the knight on f5 would be covering some important squares that I've highlighted, you guys. And that's why Ding played pawn to d4. Maybe if knight f4, Ding should take that knight. And that's what Nepo played. And Ding traded his less active piece, the bishop, with black's most active piece. These are big lessons, you guys, featured in these recaps, but people don't know. And I'm glad that these videos are not attracting many views because people won't know. Anyways, e takes a4 and castle shot. Now you can see the huge center that Ding has at the moment. I like this. I can't explain my joy. I'm feeling like the way monkeys feel when they're eating bananas. Anyways, queen f6, then rook fe1. See how simple this game is, you guys. Rook e8. I mean, both players are just activating their rooks that were doing nothing on their initial squares. Anyways, bishop d3 to support the pawn on e4. Maybe in the near future he would love to push this pawn forward. Nepo played bishop g4 to pin nothing. And then knight d2. The knight a5, maybe paving way for pawn to c5 next. But c5 by Ding, even though Stockfish likes the move queen f4, which I like because that pressurizes the knight and also activates the queen on a better square. But anyways, pawn to c5, I don't know, but after d takes c5 and d takes c... now I understand what Ding is up to, you guys. This move, pawn to c5, is what we call a clearance sacrifice in chess. The idea is to deflect the defender of the e5 square, which was the d pawn. So you sacrifice a pawn to clear the way for your e pawn. That's why I'm calling it a clearance sacrifice. Now, the knight has a new square. The pawns can easily march forward. Ding is very good. Queen h6 by Nepo, then pawn to d5. Now you can see these beautiful pawns by Ding. What a great strategy, you guys. Rook a d8, then we see pawn to c4. Look at this trio of pawns, you guys. From the word go, Ding didn't have any weaknesses. That's the beauty of the English opening, you guys. Pawn to b6, every move creates some weaknesses somehow. Anyways, Ding played pawn to h3. As remember what I said in yesterday's video, you don't want to entertain your enemy's pieces in your territory. On the other hand, black's territory is highlighted in red, so don't do that. Bishop h5 was played, then bishop e4. Wait a second, I was looking at knight e4, but I just discovered that Nepo would have taken the free pawn on e5. So bishop e4 is a little trap, because if Nepo takes this pawn on e5, Ding will give a check on h7 first and then win the free rook. Okay, that's an interesting move. Rook e7, so clearly Nepo wants to create a battery, then queen c3. This move is important because it defends the e5 pawn in case of a battery and also controlling the third rank. So rook d e8 by Nepo, then bishop f3. My man Ding is on fire, ensuring that he doesn't create any weaknesses. Knight b7, yeah, because the knight wasn't doing anything at the edge of the board. Nepo's position was passive. Rook e2, now Ding also wants to create a battery. This is how you play chess, you guys. It's not just about mating fast, but creating a lot of pressure and escorting your pawns to go and promote. This is what you do in the end game. But this is the middle game, I guess. Pawn to f6. I don't like this move. First of all, it allows you to create a passed pawn, and secondly, to gain some initiative. But I understand the reasoning behind this move. Nepo wanted to create a new square for his knight, maybe, and there was just nothing you could have done anyways. Pawn to e6, always create a passed pawn. That's a good thing. Knight d6, rook a e1, knight f5. So this is what Nepo wanted to do. You can see his knight was doing nothing on a5, so he had to come up with this plan of repositioning his knight to the king side so that maybe it can become active. So far so good, and I would love to mention that position is equal at this stage of the game. Anyways, bishop takes h5, kiss. Keep it so simple. Queen takes h5 and rook e4, putting pressure on the f4 pawn. Queen h6 was played to defend the pawn, and queen f3, putting pressure on the f4 pawn once again. In serious tournaments like these, it all comes down to one pawn. If you can manage to at least win one free pawn, then you're standing a better chance of winning the endgame. Knight d4 attacking the queen, but hey, queen takes f. Oh my god. I thought Ding was going to take on f4, or maybe just retreat his queen back to d1, or something like queen d3. But sacking the rook on d4 is a very big surprise and a very brilliant idea. So this is what we call a positional sacrifice, you guys. You give up a bigger piece in order to create a very good position. Because if you think about it, you guys, the most powerful piece on the chessboard was this knight. It was a well-positioned piece on the board, and that's why Ding decided to get rid of it, positionally sacrificing the rook for a knight so that he can gain some initiative. Oh my god. Pawn to g5, defending the f-pawn, but knight takes d4, here comes. Even though I haven't looked at the evaluation of Stockfish, I can easily tell that white has a big advantage in this position, and here Nepo played queen g6, stopping knight f5, but g4. Ding doesn't have any weaknesses, you guys. Nepo took with impassant, then fg. Now the knight can freely sit on f5. Pawn to h5, a walk of shame, and knight f5, attacking the rook, and rook h7, that was the only sensible move, and queen e4. You guys, what are we looking at? King h8, then pawn to e7, and it looks like Ding is winning this game, you guys. These pawns are marching to heaven. Queen f7, another walk of shame, pawn to d6. The idea is to go pawn to d7 and promote into another pawn if Ding wants, but that's not how chess works. CD was played. The second purpose of that clearance sacrifice again is to double attack the rook and the queen, you guys. This is absolutely amazing, you guys, and it is safe to say that Ding wants to be up a piece in this position. For example, if queen takes e7, the idea is not to take the queen but to take the free rook on e8, you guys. What an amazing plan. And that's why after knight takes d6, Nepo played queen g8. Yes, simply giving up his rook, cause what else? And queen takes e8, then queen e6, wanting to take the pawn. You see how amazing the English opening is, you guys. If the queen moves away from this square, or I don't know where else it can go, Ding can promote into Father Christmas if he wants. King g7, a walk of shame, and Ding plays the engine's top choice, rook f1, wanting to capture the f6 pawn and give a check. Rook h6, Nepo holding on to d alive. Rook d1. Now look at this, you guys. Pawn to f5 by Nepo. Trying one more trick, you guys. The idea is that if Ding rushes out with rook d8, then the game is back to equal, and maybe probably Nepo can easily win this game, you guys. Next he's gonna take the pawn for free. But Ding Liren didn't blunder this because he's not me. He played queen e5 check, an in-between move, and after king f7, now he goes queen takes f5 check. If king takes e7, you guys, there is this mate in 9 sequence that is hard to find, but not for Ding. Rook e1 check, and after king d8, only sensible move. You don't take the queen, but you give another check. If king d7, you go queen d5 check, you guys. And if rook d6, blocking the check because Nepo cannot block this check with his elbow, there is this move, queen b7 check, and after king d8, queen b8 check, and after king d7, there comes a mate in 3, you guys. Nepo was not going to stop this mate with his hands. Anyways, after queen e5 check, king f7, and queen takes f5 check, Nepo did not take on e7. He blocked the check with a rook, not with his fingers. Then queen h7 check, king e6. Then in this position, Stockfish calculates a mate in 17, which is very difficult to find, you guys, starting with a move rook e1. But Ding played a silent move, queen g7, which is still winning but not mating anytime soon. And after rook g6, cause there's nothing much that Nepo can do, honestly speaking. I mean, he can't even move his queen. Let's say queen f7. There was going to be a mate in 9 here after the pawn promotes. And as check, if queen takes, there's rook e1 check. So after the silent move king g7 by Ding, Nepo tried to play rook g6. Then Ding! Oh my eyeballs. Played queen f8 and Nepo, ladies and gentlemen, resigned. This is just too much. First of all, you're going to win this queen for free. And let's say if rook g8 and move to buy time, first of all, there's queen takes g8 check, and black would be forced to take the queen. And look at this move, you guys. Rook d8, and there's absolutely nothing that black can do. If king f7, let's say, white can easily take that queen, and if king takes e7, there's rook takes g8 once again, and all these pawns are going to die. All these pawns, I mean, if queen takes d8, the pawn will promote into another queen. This is game over. Let's say king g6 in this position, still Ding would have promoted, and this was going to come with check. Ding was going to remain with the rook. Anyways, this is all for today, you guys. Great game by Ding. In my opinion, he chose a great opening. My favorite opening, the English opening. Ding is a robot. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this recap, and be sure to hit the like button if at all you did. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and remember to check out my English opening course at www.kasperchess.com. Tomorrow there is no game according to the Follow Chess website. These guys will be resting, and we're only going to have the 5th round on Saturday. So stay tuned, and you can find the playlist of these games on my channel or somewhere in the comment section down below. See you soon in my next video. Bye bye.